Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my co-host of the day, Jojo. How
Hi,
are you,
Chantele.
Jojo?
I'm doing okay. I'm surviving.
You're surviving. Why
See
are
what
you
I did
only
there?
surviving?
Oh, just been a long week. A new variant just popped up in Canada. Just read that in the news.
Well, at
Just
least this
life.
variant or whatever
Yes.
seemingly is mild, or seemingly mild to those who are vaccinated.
Bring it on.
So that's a good thing, but
That is the thing.
literally every single person I know has it or just got over it,
Yep.
or somebody that they live with has it. Like it's actually everywhere right now, which is quite annoying, I would have to say, just because things were starting to open up. I had things to do in person next weekend that are canceled. I'm just like, yeah. Like, please.
Yay.
We have some friends here.
We do.
Oh, I am Jojo. Hey. Yes, Jojo is here. Hello,
Hey, babe.
everyone.
Hi, Glenda.
Yes, it
You're a
is
star.
Jojo and I. Yes, we are here together. Hi, the Hangout Room. Oh, this episode was an excellent episode. So, what did you think? So, I automatically was kind of like, I knew what was going to be happening to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to be as mad because I was prepared for it. So no matter what, that was a little bit of a buffer that last season didn't have. What did you think on a whole of like the entire episode?
I thought for a merge episode, absolutely incredible. 2 hours long, the way they should be. I felt like we saw so much more strategy in camp life and talks happening. And I mean, merge episodes normally, it's like, oh, the boot happens, and you're like, how did that happen? I have no idea. It just flies by like that. We actually got to see the seeds planted, what was going down, what the initial plans were. As soon as Roxroy went to crack and knew,
Well,
like, I was like Tori has to win immunity. Like, she actually has to. And good on her.
I'm happy that she did, to be honest.
It was so juicy. It was a beautiful episode of Survivor. I loved it.
I thought it was a really great episode. What I really liked is the fact that the good parts about the episode had nothing to do with advantages,
Yes.
nothing to do with twists. It actually just had to do with pure gameplay. People on an island that want to stay in the game, that are all trying to do things to benefit their game to win $1 million.
Yeah.
That's the premise of the show. And every time we come back to just that, it's so good. It's so good.
We saw so many people strategizing as well, and I love that there's the majority of the cast is really playing the game, which I'd love to see. So it's an impressive top, what, 11?
12, 11
12?
now.
11 now? Really
Yes.
good.
Hi, Les. Thank you for being here. Okay, seeing that
Yes.
strategy gave me a Big Brother. Oh, yes, that much strategy. Yes, it did. It's kind of like what I love about Big Brother. We're getting it sort of this season for Big Brother. Like, I think Kevin is strategizing the heck out of this season, but now he doesn't really seem to have anybody to go up against. So it's coming a little bit boring. And what people are going to be saying, like, oh, like strategy seasons are boring. It's like, well, if only one person is strategizing or two, like, are strategizing well, like, obviously that's going to be boring because everybody else is just going to be like falling under their spell and not realizing that they're trying to play the game to benefit them. So
Yeah.
I love that there was multiple strategists that emerged from this episode as like, ooh, there could be a battle to come. So
Yes.
definitely got a Big Brother rush out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, love the strategy talks and the chaos at camp. Yes. Okay, so we got a big episode to get through. So let's start recapping with the longest episode title I've ever seen, I think, for Survivor.
It cut off for me. I couldn't even read the entire thing.
It's called You Can't Hide on Survivor, the devil you do or the devil you don't. Like, that's like,
And they couldn't
like
choose.
essay.
They couldn't choose. They're like, both. Let's just name it the entire thing.
Well, is it a double episode, or is it 2 episodes. No, it wasn't 2 episodes because it wasn't 2 evictions. So, or
I'd only
2.
consider it one episode. For one tribal, one episode.
So, what did they mean by you can't hide on Survivor? Because I don't believe I heard that line said by anybody this episode.
Survivor. I have no idea. I also don't
And
remember.
what about the devil you do or the devil you don't? Is that about
Help, Chad.
I tried to figure out what they meant by these because usually it's something that is said,
right?
Or it's very clear about what it is. The devil you do or the devil you don't.
I mean, I'm
assuming, maybe between Roxroy and Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think her tribe considers her a devil whatsoever. I think Lindsay's was in a beautiful position in her previous tribe. But maybe like not being able to hide, that would make sense for drawing the rocks or fade up in the air. I don't know.
Hi, hams up, because it's 2 episodes. There's 2 episode titles. Okay. That's what the name said. Okay.
Oh,
fine. So Roxroy said the second part. Oh, he did. Probably maybe on Exile. Okay, fine. I didn't clock it, but there was a lot of episode, and I was writing a lot, so I might have missed it. So it was Jonathan who said he was also trying to hide, but you can't hide because he's so big. He always stands out. You're right. He can't hide on Survivor. Absolutely not. Thank you, chat. Romeo said the first part.
Oh, we have a battle
Romeo
here?
or Jonathan, or was it about Jonathan? But all of this makes sense. Yeah. Because he said he can't hide his true self.
Oh.
That he did say that. You are right. That is a moment.
We'll get to that moment. That was beautiful.
Okay. Thank you so much. You are so right. So both of those moments. So maybe it was a collective of moments that had that part of the episode title. So we start off at after Tribal Council, where Daniel is eliminated from the game, and the saga of Chanel and Daniel is over. Chanel apologizes to Mike, who was not very receptive of the fact that Chanel put a vote on him. What did you think about Mike's reaction to Chanel voting for him, and Chanel being like, "I'm trying to explain it to you, but you actually won't let me talk." What do you think about that?
I think I really like Mike, and like he had his chat with Jonathan last night. I absolutely judged him for the way that he looked initially, and I thought, hi Diva. I thought like not gonna really care about this guy. I think Mike's incredible. I think he's a great person, but he's also playing pretty emotionally in general. He does feel really burned by Chanel when you're playing Survivor. You say, you know what, it's all good. We're about to go to a merge here. Let's not do this. Let's try and stay together. Even if you don't trust Chanel, because you clearly shouldn't. She still did put a vote on you. Just play nice. And I think Mike's not going to do the best at just playing nice with people that might wrong him.
I agree. I wish that Chanel, though, was a little bit better at making nice with people. It just be like, I'm sorry, I just didn't know who to choose, and I really didn't want to go home. And I kind of just said eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because of course I trust all of you, but I didn't know I couldn't trust Daniel, and I didn't know if Daniel was going to have an idol, and I didn't want to be idled out of the game. I'm sorry that I put my vote on you. It was not because I wanted you to go home. I didn't want you or Lydia or Hai to go, but I also didn't want me to go either. Maybe say something like that. He'd still be pissed, but
yeah, exactly. I don't think anything could make him not mad about what just went down. Yes, exactly. Mike voted for her.
Exactly. Just be like, didn't you vote for me?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I promised that you're going to be safe. It's like, well, could you promise that if Daniel had just used an idol? You couldn't promise that then. So, but also though, because he did the exact same thing, because if they had all, she was thinking, put all the votes onto Daniel, so it would have been 3 votes onto Daniel, and then Daniel plays an idol and has only 1 vote on Chanel, that would have been a problem. So Mike put that 1 vote on Chanel in the same instance, right? Thinking that all votes are going to go on Daniel. And anyway, so he wanted to make sure that Chanel was going home if an idol was playing. So
100%.
it's kind of just desserts, you know? They should have been like, fair is fair.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike is being very hypocritical. I mean, I still like him though, but yes, very hypocritical. Exactly. He was on a little bit. I think also because he has the backing too of like he's in the majority, so he's able to have that response because he has the support of Hai and Lydia in this case.
Right.
And so he can kind of be like, well, it's 3 against 1, so I can give you a little bit more attitude than if he was on the bottom and he'd be like, oh, don't worry, it's okay. You know what I mean? So that is also something to take note of. Celeste says, I feel Chanel and Tori are very similar in that they just say whatever they feel at all the facial expressions.
I don't agree with the Chanel aspect of that. I definitely agree with the Tori, but I don't think Chanel's playing everything on her face, even though when put in certain situations in this episode, it was pretty clear. She's like, okay, you guys are clearly talking about me and then dispersing. Like, what's going down? What do I have to do here? I just think Chanel is not long for the game, unfortunately.
Didn't we say that? Remember when we were doing our draft picks and we're pulling cards, and I was like, oh, this isn't a great card for a game.
No.
I need to go back. I didn't timestamp, so I need to go and see what was picked for everybody just to see how this game is shaping up according to what the tarot cards have been saying. But it wasn't highly rating Miss Chanel here.
I actually think Chanel's was okay. Wasn't it like a Sun Rising? No.
I definitely don't remember. It was something I remember saying like, I'm sorry, Jojo, I know you picked her, but I don't think this is a great card. I remember saying that, but I don't remember what the card was.
We'll look back on that. Yeah, we'll put a pin in that.
Pin in it. Okay, so speaking of Tori, what the heck did you think of Tori like bugging Roy to give her information about his summit? And how do you think of his reaction to it?
Was that the first person from their tribe to go to the summit? It was, right?
Drea went.
Yeah, maybe she just thought that something else was happening and really wanted the info. I mean, neither, like at a tribe before, Tori's not in a great position. Rockroy's, he's also not in the best position. It's really Romeo and Drea that are going to be, you know, moving forward together, in my opinion. Tori's been really all over the place every episode. And I love chaos. I love a villain. I'm like, yeah, give it to me. But she's not a Sydney villain, if that makes sense. She's I don't know if it's like she doesn't realize that she's a villain. But she should. She's watched enough Survivor. She's a huge fan. And I just think as a therapist, especially, when I think of a therapist playing Survivor, I think of Denise. And Denise, in her original season, played a beautiful game and was absolutely deserving of the win. I don't see Tori going down that route whatsoever.
The thing with Tori is that she doesn't seem to take a hint.
Yeah.
like the guy, you're not okay. I know that she's trying to pretend like, you know, they're working together and they're friends and like she just wants to have a chit chat. But the dude is like, I'm not telling you what happened at the summit. Like, take a step back and not stop asking him. And also, I felt that Roxroy didn't handle the situation very well because it's like, you like give her something or like make her feel as though you guys are working together to a certain extent, because do you really want to have somebody that is against you in the game?
You don't. Not at that point. Unless you're in the majority and you're at the final 6 and you're like, well, us 4 are going to the final 4. I don't really care what I'm losing a jury vote here. Cool. Bye.
It did make her look pretty bad for the fact that like you see Drea and Romeo kind of being like, oh my God, I can't take her. She's always like stirring up chaos. And I'm just like, can't she read the room? Like I'm not a therapist, but like, I'm a hypnotherapist. So in the sense that like you really are paying attention to the other person. You pay attention to, you know, how they're breathing, how they're reacting, whether they're responding right away. Like you're always really focused on the other person. And I'm just so don't understand why she doesn't notice that Roxroy does not want to have this conversation with her.
Yeah.
Or anybody else for that matter. So,
Tori.
Nobody trusts Tori. I thought that Drea at least might want to work with Tori a little bit, but she is like, nope. She brings too much chaos. Want her gone. Romeo wants her gone. Doesn't trust her. So no good. So then we get Jeff talking to the damn audience. Thoughts on that? I rolled my eyes so hard. I'm just like, he's so proud of himself.
Yeah, he truly is. But I did love the shout out to Erica. I love that he brought her up as a past winner and spoke about the twist that was coming up and how they were changing it. And by changing it, how did they change this twist? Applebee's?
Applebee's, yeah. So the twist changes.
Are you?
The three
is
variables.
Everyone sure that you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this?
Right. So, and they said, okay, so I'll tell you exactly what the three variables were. So food is going to be from Applebee's.
Yeah.
They're going to tell them that the players sent away will have the power to change the game.
Okay.
And the winning five will decide if they want to send someone away that wasn't chosen or somebody from the winning group if they were going to decide to go to exile instead and give up the food and the immunity. So it's power over food and perceived safety is what has been changed now. So I feel like it's pretty annoying that we had to take probably like 2 minutes to explain all this crap. Like, I don't need it to be so complicated. It doesn't need to be that difficult. Just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. I love the idea of half the tribe being the merged tribe being available to be voted out. But what I do dislike the most about this hourglass twist is that the person does not make the jury. I really don't like that because everyone has met. So that is one person that really gets twist screwed. I would assume, you know what, Lydia, I mean, spoiler, Lydia was voted out last night. I would assume Lydia would not have been in as big of trouble even if it, yeah, I don't think she would have been voted out under the circumstances either way. It would have been.
Well, she would have been on the winning tribe, so it would have been Chanel that would have been gone most likely. Yeah. I don't think that. Well, I mean, we don't know how she would have performed in that immunity challenge, but that's definitely what I don't think is fair. I agree with you 100%. It's like, okay, if you're going to make the winning tribe that maybe Lydia didn't like, can I go? And like, they all decided like, no, let's send Roxroy. Like maybe she wasn't even allowed to get to go and take that position. And we do hear later on in the episode that Jonathan was considering going, but he was hungry. Yep. So like the fact that like, they didn't end up taking them up on that. I wish that wasn't a game decision for like, it was a group decision that became an individual loss, right? An individual that does not get to be part of the jury. I don't think that that's fair either.
100%. Not fair at all.
Like, I mean, I guess she did choose, maybe if she said like, hey, I want to go, but I guess the food was more important to everybody. I don't know. If I've ever played Survivor, I would go to that island.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, power? Sure. Obviously, I'll die for 2 days. No problem.
Absolutely. I'm on Survivor. I'm already hungry. Give me that diet. Like
26 days instead of 39?
Who needs to eat? I mean, yeah, we'll get to the food too. All right, so they're coming in. It's like, Jeff, you couldn't have just like recorded this at any other time. It actually has to be right before they're coming in, please. Yeah. So they dropped their buffs, and so they're excited, but it's not actually a merge, which I also think is annoying. It's like, you say drop your buffs, there's 12 people left, let it be a gosh darn merge. It doesn't have to be this mergatory thing. That's not good television.
No, we don't want to see it again. 43 better not have it. I really doubt it's going to, but I mean, I don't
mind actually the idea of earning your spot into the merge.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind that. So okay, so let me just take that back a bit. So the fact that they dropped their buffs, they're not fully merged yet, but they're going to earn their way to the merge. So half the tribe gets that, and then the other half is going to have to play an immunity challenge. I like actually all that. I don't mind all of that.
Yep.
I just hate the hourglass part of it that just takes away all the, all of it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if they could take the spot of one person that won, would that make it worse or any better for you?
Say that again.
So say 6 people how many people were immune last night? 6 before Tori won. So what if Rock Roy had to spend one night away from camp and he got to take the spot of one person that had immunity, but that person was still given the opportunity to compete for individual immunity?
I'm okay with that. Even
would that be a more complicated twist, or I just think it's less like messy for everyone.
Change the fate of the game
for one other person.
I mean, that would just be unlucky for that particular person, but they still get an opportunity to play for immunity. That's not the worst.
Maybe,
but like, do we even need it?
No, get lost. I don't want it.
Do we even need it?
I want that hourglass. I want Jeff standing on a boat, premiere of season 43, and just taking it and littering, throwing it.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah, get
rid of it. Oh my God. Agree. Jeff is loving the new Survivor. He loves the camera. Yes, he does. Agreed. Hangout Tori never reads the room. That girl needs to figure it out. All right, someone sent me some Applebee's food. I need to know why Americans hate it so much. I'm curious. I've never had it. Hangout Room, where are you from? I forget. I've never had it. I don't think we have it in Canada. It just looks like a chain restaurant. What would it be like a
Eastside Mario's?
I was going to say, but then that's called kind of Italian, isn't it?
Yeah, Italian. Maybe I was going to say Applebee's. Maybe Olive Garden. Or TGI Fridays?
I've never been to
Fridays?
TGI Fridays. Maybe that's kind of maybe it's like Jack Astor's maybe.
Oh no, maybe.
Maybe because it would have wings, burgers,
cake,
onion rings.
Oh, I'm getting hungry.
Oh, boo boo. He would have taken Tori's spot, no doubt. I mean that would have been fine. That would have been just desserts for sure.
Yep.
South Africa. Oh, that is correct. I have no idea really what Applebee's is, or maybe it's like Sizzlers.
I just picture a bunch of bees coating the ceiling, and everyone's just eating apples, terrified. Hurry, finish your apple. Let's get out of here. Why are we paying for this experience?
It's chain mediocre bar food. Yeah, I mean, it's just not. I mean, I guess if I'm starving, but I don't eat meat. Maybe I would if I was on Survivor, but
you would on Survivor.
Yeah, I'd be like, give me a burger. I haven't had a burger in 15 years. I want a bacon burger. I used to love bacon burgers, not gonna lie. Bacon burger, maybe some avocado on there, some fried onions. Yeah, I guess they were good, but yeah. So mediocre chain food, but they were very excited about Applebee's. So they're going to earn their buff, immunity, food reward, and is Applebee's. So they're going to be drawing rocks for this. This is another thing too that I think is unfair, that I wish that it was a schoolyard pick, right? Because then there'd be a little bit more hostility and a little bit more oh, I wasn't picked for this and I'm going to be sent away. It would just, I think, would bring a little bit more gameplay than 2 people just happen to not get to play. That sucks. And then their fate is determined by this rock. And then Rock's Roy, in this case, is deciding the fate of the other person, basically, as well. So I wish it was less rocks and more
Roy.
More Roy.
Yay.
More Roy. Yes, more Roy. No, it doesn't sound nice.
No.
You seen he was tearing that food up. He's a vegetarian. That's cracking up when they're showing him sucking the chicken bone. I didn't even notice.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together either.
I gotta find this now. Oh my
Just
God. He
casually
was
chowing down.
sucking on a chicken bone. Is this after Applebee's? How far into it was that? Okay, I'm gonna find it after. So the people that are gonna be playing, so there's gonna be two teams. So Team Blue is gonna be Drea, Mike, Omar, Romeo, and Chanel. And Team Orange is Lydia, Jonathan, Marianne, Tori, and Hi. One thing that was interesting too is beforehand, I was like, whoever's on Jonathan's team is going to get screwed. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan's going home for sure on the merge boot for sure with this twist because he's going to win and then someone's going to do the hourglass and he's going to go home. Was that your thought too?
I mean, yeah, it should have went down that way. No? I mean, we'll get to the strategy, but it was brilliant. The person that protected Jonathan, good work. Really good work.
Definitely good work. Definitely.
Did you find it?
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with that. With what happened there. Yeah, so he was so hungry that he forgot he was vegetarian. I think he's vegan. I don't even think he's just vegetarian.
Eat it all.
Hi, Teresa. So I live in Michigan. Applebee's is pub food, burgers, pizzas, sandwiches, some entrees, drinks, nothing special.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I
Unless
get
you're
the pub
starving.
fare.
Yeah.
We don't. Is there a chain pub? Like we have a chain of pubs like called Firkins. So
Yeah.
like the Duke and Firkin, the Friar and Firkin, the whatever in Firkin. And there's also the Duke chain. So it's like Duke of Devon, Duke of da-da-da, Duke of da-da-da. And so those all have like what I'm assuming Applebee's has. So, and maybe like the special of the day will be like a steak. It'll be like a flank steak.
And Fritz.
Like, exactly. Steak feet.
Steak feet.
It's not, but if you want cheap, always a deal type food. Yes. I guess it's a big debate on someone bringing you there on a date. It's always a big argument to Applebee's. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a snob, but I wouldn't be happy if someone brought me to Applebee's.
No, especially a first date. My gosh, maybe like
I mean,
I feel like it would be like oh, we're starving. We just walked by this place. Do you want to go in?
What it's like?
There's
It's like a White Spot. Have you been to White Spot?
No, I don't even know what it is.
Oh, it's in BC.
Okay,
it's like a White Spot.
White Spot.
Definitely. It's the type of restaurant I would say that you'd go if you have like a huge family thing and like you don't want to spend a gazillion dollars, but there's like kids and there's like people wide age range. So you can have like a huge table of like 30 and it's like you would have like, a kids menu with crayons at the table. Like that's what I'm picturing for Applebee's.
Love that.
It's just not somewhere where I'd want to go on a date per se. I personally prefer not a mom and pops, but places that are one-offs. I don't tend to eat at chain restaurants.
Fair enough.
I would never take a date at Applebee's. Yes. That's what a lot of people's argument is. Well, wait, people would though? It would be over. I'd be like, sorry, I guess we're not dating after this.
It's official.
Yeah, it's a family thing, perfect for cheap eats. Exactly. So the two people that pulled the gray rock is Lindsay and Roxroy. That was unfortunate for them. I'm still waiting for the scene when Tori like reads that clue because I know people are like, oh my God, like see, Tori was the one that found the beware advantage. And I'm like, we still haven't seen the scene where she's reading something. So I also had a feeling that she wasn't going anywhere because I hadn't seen that scene yet. So
yeah,
just saying, guys.
Who knows if that scene is just fake or who knows at this point? I don't know.
But now she has an opportunity to read something. So
yeah, fair.
So we'll see what it happens. Like it's totally possible for her to find an advantage, especially if she knows that she's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
definitely possible. So it's the same merge challenge that was from 41. I don't think that there was any changes to it. Maybe they just even left it there for a month while they got the new players in.
I think it was actually the final 5 challenge that Ricard lost the puzzle.
Oh, the puzzle was the final 5 challenge, but the
The
rest of
puzzle
it,
was.
like the giant boulder,
Yeah.
I can see, like, whatever, change up the puzzle, that's fine. So they had to dig out a giant boulder, roll it through an obstacle, climb up and over things onto the boulder, and Jonathan pretty much did that single-handedly with, like, I would say everybody else on that tribe was less strong than everybody else on the other tribe, but Jonathan is like the strength of 10 men, like,
Yes.
literally.
It's very impressive. And I'm not
It's
an alpha player fan, a male alpha player anyway, but he is incredibly impressive. And I love the fact that a lot of people brought up, like, normally I wouldn't want to work with someone like this, but because of the way they provide for us, how strong they are, they seem like a loyal person. I'll work with Jonathan, sure. So good on Jonathan.
the hangout room says, based on Glenda's information in South Africa, it's KFC. Never date a guy who takes you to KFC on the first date. KFC
Ooh.
would be lower grade, I would say, than Applebee's.
Yeah, like a
Applebee's is
fast
a
food.
sit-down restaurant where you take a reservation, you would have a server. It's not fast food. It's what's it called? What's it called? Something
Casual
dining.
dining.
Casual dining.
Dining.
So it's still a step up for KFC. I would definitely not like date somebody that took me to KFC. Like, what about like McDonald's even?
Oh, on a date? Absolutely not. McDonald's for me is reserved for I'm starving and I'm walking by one and I'll grab like a burger, or like case in point today, I grabbed a junior chicken on the way home and scarfed it down. I'm like, that's just a quick little snack to have. KFC for me personally, that's like, honestly, that's like a family meal. Like I'd call my mom, be like, hey, I'm gonna pick up a big bucket of chicken and 2 large fries and a coleslaw and some gravy. See you in an hour. Bye. That's like a
it's
fast
definitely
food for everyone.
picnic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Time of year.
definitely. I don't even know where
Beach.
KFC is.
In
There's
the
one on
city,
the East
no
End or
idea.
West End. There's one, I think, like Dundas West, I think. But yeah, I don't know. No.
Not
Definitely
popular
one
here.
step down. Hi, Anthony. So at this point, I'm so sick of all the twisted advantages. This isn't Survivor. This is Jeff Probst's show. Yeah, I agree. McDonald's is junk food on my way home from a club. Yes. That's it. That's the only time where I'm like, I want a filet o fish.
Gimme.
Like, filet o fish with small fries and hot mustard.
Oh, ooh.
I felt bad for Chanel because they changed the conversation every time she walked out. Oh, DM rocks. We're going to get to that. Oh my God, we have so much to go. Thank you for being here, both you and Anthony as well, for joining the chat. All right, but okay, so Marianne and Lydia are on the puzzle. They have tons of time to get through this puzzle. And I was feeling really bad for Drea because at one point she was trying to get up and over the boulder. We have Mike was laying on top of the boulder and she was trying with all of her might and she couldn't do it, falling back down, winded, needing to catch her breath, until eventually Mike suggests that Romeo goes down and helps Chanel up, and then Romeo is lighter so he can just easily just like climb up over onto Mike. So that ended up happening, but I felt so bad for Drea because I'm sure she thinks of herself as a very strong person, and for her to feel as though she's letting the team down, I think that she was probably distraught in that way and like exhausted at the same time. That did not look fun.
Yeah, I just don't know why they didn't do it in the first place. Like, shouldn't the lightest person, the smallest person, be going last?
Well, maybe she just thought that she could do it, right? Maybe she didn't realize that it was going to be that challenging. And so she thought that she would be helping Romeo up and that she would be able to get up herself. Maybe.
I guess. I love Drea, though. God.
She's my only person I have left, I think. So
really?
all in on Drea. All in on Drea.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, those 2 hard falls were really, really unfortunate for Drea, and I felt for her absolutely. But doesn't stop Orange from winning, even though Jonathan was suggesting things to Marianne and she was being quite snippy with him. He was saying like, oh, just maybe you should turn all the pieces over so you can see them. And she's like, we have time. And I was like, that's a really good thing to do. Like, turn the puzzle thing. If I'm doing a puzzle at home, I turn all the puzzle pieces over That's the
Yeah.
first thing that I do. And then I start separating the outer edges. And then, like, if I see things, I'll put them together as I see them. But the first thing that I do is turn over all the pieces.
Yeah, I can understand like maybe some frustration because hey, this is my challenge. I'm taking care of it. I don't need the advice. I could see that aspect coming into play. He might have said something before to her during a challenge where she's like, no, I'm good. Also, like, yeah, I love Marianne.
We have
So
time. Don't worry.
yeah, let it
There's
lose.
never enough time. Like, what if they had lost? Like, she
Oh.
would have felt terrible, terrible, terrible. But they didn't lose. They win this challenge. And they decide to take Lindsay with them on the feast, saying that Lindsay is small and she hasn't eaten, and that they're going to send Roxroy, even though he has a game-changing advantage awaiting him.
Yikes.
It seemed like Tori was pushing that decision.
Yeah.
But it's not all lost because the losing tribe will get a serving of rice. But like, so is it one serving rice per person or one serving of rice to share between those 5 people?
I think to share between those 5 people because that looked like, excuse me, quite a bit of rice. I saw them scooping it. I was like, that looks like a lot. Like,
oh, so one for like 5 servings of
5
rice
people. Yeah.
as opposed to 1. So I'm like, so 5 cups of rice. So they're like, ooh, like that's exciting. And like white rice with no salt and delicious. So excited. It's no Applebee's. So everybody leaves, and Jeff just loves some milk moments. He's like, so Roxroy, how does it feel to like not be chosen? And he's like finding some silver lining. So you're finding the silver lining.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, obviously you have to find the silver lining. I'd be fucking pleased as punch to go to potentially have a game-changing twist.
Yes.
Absolutely. I would be like,
I volunteer. Me, I'll go.
A, to know what it is, or B, to have an advantage me, you know?
Yes, 100%.
Definitely. 1 serving per person. Oh, thank you, Teresa, for echoing Mr. Jojo here. So Twitter says that Drea was struggling on purpose because she knew about the hourglass twist. I think it's far-fetched. I don't think she was struggling on purpose.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, maybe, to take a little bit of a strength heat off of her.
Fair, but at the same time, like, if you know this woman, how could you not think that she was incredibly strong? I've been watching her, like, her performances have been pretty impressive, and when they're not spending time in tribal, a lot of the wins have depended on her strength. So if people are clocking that, then I also think Drea came in like into the merge in the best position possible. She has
like 90 necklaces.
she's so good. She's golden over here. And then these relationships that she can work with, she could work with Lindsay, Mike, Marianne, who else?
Well, Romeo, obviously, Roxroy.
Romeo, yeah, Romeo, Roxroy, even Tori. Like, she's pretty set, if you ask me. So,
sorry, just looking at the merge right now. It's day 12. Like, who cares? Like, you're hungry. Of course, you're hungry, but like, you're not that hungry. Come on, guys.
yeah.
Like,
if you have Jonathan on your tribe, you're not going to be starving. So, give it a day.
I'd be keeping Jonathan around for sure. So Jonathan almost went to exile, as we already mentioned. But he's a big guy and he needed to eat. He says that he eats generally 18 eggs, 9 pieces of cheese, and grits. 18 eggs? I don't even think I could have 18 eggs in a month.
Oh my, that's a lot of eggs in one serving.
He is eating the chicken wing. Hold on, I need to take a picture of this for you. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
I want to see.
Hi, and that chicken wing. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hi. Just like, he's like, F it. F it.
Ciao. Yep. As he should. Just
Eat it.
Eat it all, 100%.
It's actually amazing.
I worry about them though every single time they have like huge feasts like that. Like I know my bowels would just collapse.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably talk to like a dietitian or something like that beforehand and be like, listen, like, I'm gonna be starving, but like I might have opportunities to eat food. Like, what's the best way to eat stuff so I don't get medically evacuated because
like
of like
what's his
indigestion
name?
issues? I can't remember
Remember
his
what's
name right
his
now.
yeah,
That
that
older
older
man?
yes, who went out because of the meat,
The meat.
like
Well, he ate
eating
a
too
lot
much
of meat
meat.
though.
Yeah.
That was a lot of meat.
Oof.
Um,
I'd stick to like
yeah,
fruits
I would
and
definitely
vegetables for
ask.
light. Ugh.
The chicken wing stew was so funny. I mean, I
Yeah.
noticed everybody else. I just didn't notice Highs, so that 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 sent me. Thank you. So yes, he eats a lot, and so I understand why he decided that he wanted to go and get this food. But what I wrote down at this point, I'm like, what? I wonder if this is a game changing meal, like game losing meal. Like how they kind of set it up. It's like he could have gone to exile, but he decided to choose food, and I'm seeing him eat. I'm like, I wonder if this is his last supper, literally.
Ay.
That's what I was thinking. So Tori, though, at this meal is just airing all of the dirty laundry. What about what's patient therapist confidentiality, Tori? Like
She
you
made it
got to
very
keep some of that in.
she made it very clear she does not want to work with her tribe. Which,
You know,
like if other people, I don't know, like I don't is it the worst thing to be like, you know what? Let's side with one instead of the other three? And that's three people we can take out in a row? Not the worst idea. I don't know. But then at the same time, Tori would still just be a number. I don't know if she could really find some footing in there. Yeah.
yeah.
She's
I
not
mean,
that
I
type of
think it's
player.
possible for her to use this information to get in, but like I think it was a little bit too early for her to be sharing all that stuff. Like I think that she should have taken this time, start getting to know people. Then maybe when people are like asking, like, so what's the dynamics are like, maybe bring up a little bit, being like, whatever, like not air it all out. I think using it strategically for herself and sharing it with people if they're like trying to look for numbers or whatnot. So I just think that she could have used that information a little bit better instead of it just looking like she's the outcast on her tribe and that it might be an easy vote.
Yeah. Fair.
So yeah, Tori's immediately not Ika at all. The
Nope.
losing tribe though is talking about what Roxroy was going to get, and kind of like Hanger is saying here, she kept on predicting the twist and being like, it could be something like so. Do you think that she just is really good at Survivor, has a good idea? Like, how do you think that she was so bang on with what the twist actually was?
Yeah, I think she just has a brilliant brain. Pretty much. I don't think
Brilliant brain.
a brilliant brain. I think she's an incredibly impressive player, and she's intuitive. She has understood the dynamics of her tribe, every tribal. Yeah, I don't want to say it's a lucky guess. I think it's kind of an educated guess. Jeff kept saying, "Are you sure you want to send this person?" They made it very clear that this person was going to be coming back with a game-changing twist.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I probably would have sussed out that or said that at least what to somebody being like, oh, well, what could a game changing twist be that one person could do? Maybe change the results of a competition. It's something that
yeah,
I probably would think of.
yep.
True. So Les thinks that Tori is playing a game to make it to the end, but not win. I don't know if she can make it to the end. I don't know if she can get it,
Yeah,
but if she gets to the
I don't
end,
think she
she won't win. But like,
it could depend who she's sitting next to. But I don't see Tori making it to the end. God no. Not even a little bit.
not close. I think she's a fan of the game and probably thought, could the twist be? I'm loving Drea. Yes, I
Thank you.
do. I love Drea. As I said, she's the only person I have left on my draft. I had Zach. I don't know how I ended up with Zach.
Oh,
I had Jenny. I had, who's my third person?
Daniel? Was it
Drea.
Daniel?
I don't think I had Daniel.
Oh,
Did I Swati? No.
no, you didn't have Swati? I'm trying to remember. I have Tori, Marianne, Chanel, and I don't know who else I
I
have.
can't remember. Oh my goodness.
Lindsay. No, I don't have Lindsay.
You
God,
might
I'll
have
look it up.
Lindsay.
Maybe.
He might have Lindsay. That's possible. Drea for the win.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm doing pretty well with my drafts so far. So, well, on Reality Realness. On my other drafts, some of them I'm not doing well at all. But
Whoops.
these ones I've been doing pretty good with. So Drea also is spilling some tea about Tori, though, saying careful with Tori. They're also saying back careful with Chanel. Drea really wants to work with Mike, which I was like, okay, good. Like, I'm happy that people that are like wanting to work with Mike, because he is, I believe, the oldest person out there this season, or at least right now, anyways. And so it's just, I just want the older person to have a shot. You know, I don't want them to be the person out, because if I'm ever on any of those shows, no matter what, I'm going to be the older person. So, like, I just want them to have a shot, you know?
Yeah,
just
of course.
dance.
But I love that she also brought up Marianne. Like, they do have that bond, the fact that all three of them have the idol, and you could play it really smart for all three of them if you wanted to. So that's a pretty good built-in
Bond.
alliance.
It's like, hey, let's keep us all in the know, or it's just like a way to bring up a group of people together. Like, I would always be looking for ways to have a close connection with somebody. Like, if I'm going on a returning season, I'm like, okay, we're all the winners of the People Place top 3. Let's get them together. You know what I mean? Like, just you want to get a group together that you can potentially trust. So yeah, definitely great that Dre is suggesting, like, you know, let's protect each other. If you hear each other's name, like, we'll let each other know. So definitely good. If Drea has 1 million fans, I am 1. If she has no fans, I'm dead. You don't think what?
Love it. That's passion.
Oh, Drea, let's get that win for my draft team, girl.
Ooh, be happy. I'd be happy with that.
So we see Roxroy on Exile making fire. He fully makes like a shelter. Like, he really puts himself to work and he makes things happen out there. So I didn't know this rule, but tell me if you knew this rule about fire. So, or firewood. So when you think that you have enough, double it. Have you heard of that rule before?
I have. I grew up on the East Coast, so I've actually chopped wood for a cabin fire or even for a bonfire. It's just protective, like always have backup. If any of the wood gets wet, if it rains, you want to have some that you can dry out while you go to collect some more, and to start a fire. So yeah, double it. Keep it coming.
I definitely have heard, not exactly in that phrase, but more so like, if you think you have enough firewood, like, it's never enough. Like, you never can have enough firewood. You always can have more. So, so Natalie wants to know, how do we think that Jonathan would do on the challenge?
Ooh.
I think that he would do really well. Do you know who Turbo is, Jojo? No. I mean, I think that he would be a really strong physical competitor, and I think that people would like him and want to keep him around the game. I don't think that people would be trying to get rid of him. I think that he would actually do pretty well. I think that he would be able to get in with people, because he would be able to garner some power depending on who his partner was. I think that he could definitely do well in the game. So I'm for Jonathan on the challenge. I like that.
I think you would just need help with, like strategy. Lindsay brought up last night, strategy and puzzles. She said that he was not a strong puzzler, which that's a great time to get rid of someone that's a big physical threat at final 6 or 7, 7, 6, 5, when they're not winning immunity due to a puzzle.
Absolutely.
Get out of here.
Exactly. Like, you know that you can get rid of him. And like, he might win a bunch of immunities, but he won't win the puzzle one. So that's good to know. Or the immunity one where you have to walk back with the blocks, apparently. Les says, I'm sure that he'll get a call for MTV or CBS the challenge. I do think that he would be somebody that they look
Probably
at.
CBS, yeah.
Yes, I heard heard that saying from my grandmother. It's in the rural areas, especially in the winter. And we're in Canada, so we definitely cold. Jonathan would be amazing on the challenge. I would love to see him on there and see how much mouth Fessy has. Yes. I want to see him take down Fessy.
Get out of here.
Jonathan will beat Fessy's ass. I will pay money to see him and Fessy in a hall brawl.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like even in a pole wrestling and just seeing it like Jonathan. I'm a pacifist, but I would love to see him like pole wrestle where he's just like picking him up and slamming him on the ground. Yes.
I want
I
it.
just want him to look like a light as a feather, Fessy, in Jonathan's hands. So the reward group returns, and it's all like meet and greet, and everybody's getting to know each other and saying hello. Lindsay, Hi, and Drea have a little bit of a talk. So they talk about their group advantage, the amulet. I love that Kai is like, I want us to all want to work together with this amulet, as opposed to maybe trying to get one of each other out to make it more powerful. So now it's more clear that the amulet isn't per person. It is one amulet, one advantage for all three, or one advantage for all two, or obviously just the soul idol. So I was asking for clarification on that before, and so now we know it's just the one. So it's like really not powerful. It's a third of an extra vote.
If anything,
of a vote. Like, who cares?
If anything, you would have just hoped that one of the other two were kicked out pre-merge, so that once you get to merge, you don't have to deal with them. But all three of them made it, so
I'd definitely like Hi though. I'd be like, that's a perfect trio to work on. That like I'll have their back. Hopefully they'll have mine. Built-in alliance potentially. So good on them for getting together. But he is a little bit worried that the ladies might want to garner more power, and he feels that the game of Survivor is about gaining power, which it is. I wish it wasn't in power about advantages, but a power in like numbers and alliances and trust,
relationships.
But exactly. But it is all about power, and I could see maybe them deciding that they want to work together and take him out.
I would love to see some, you know how much I love female empowerment. So bye, Hi.
Yes.
Love him.
Well,
I love
Hi. No.
I don't want to go anywhere. No.
So Marianne has a chat with Mike. Marianne has a chat with Tori. Tori's like, I don't know if she was just like fanning her ego here, but she's like, oh my God, like you're not just like all personality, but like you're actually like really smart. And I didn't feel like what Marianne said was that profound. I don't remember what she said, but it was just kind of like.
Actually, I thought it was something beautiful. I was like, okay, it just came out in casual conversation. What was it though? Oh, my brain was fried watching this episode. What was it? But there's been a lot of talk about Marianne's strategy and how like she's incredibly strategic. She's not just her personality, and it's a lot of people saying that, but we're not necessarily seeing the most of it. We do see her strategy for sure, but not as much as it's being spoken about, kind of like with Erica last season.
Yes. Well, I mean, Marianne, yeah, we're not seeing the strategic side of her at all. So I'm happy to see her having these conversations. I don't think of her as a strategist, though. Hi, Orla. Thank you for being here. So do you think that they should cast Mr. Jonathan in the next Aquaman? I've never seen Aquaman, but I love me some Jason Momoa.
Maybe he could take over for Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. I need to do a podcast on Amber Heard and all of like that Johnny Depp trial. Like, whoo.
Yeah, Aquaman 2 press release is going to be really awkward for her, I wonder, because yeah, just wild.
Definitely, I'm interested to hear more about that. We should do like a one-off pod of like news around Aquaman, and maybe Jonathan will be involved. I wonder if he's an actor at all. Oh, the 8 challenge. What's the 8 challenge?
Oh, the 8 challenge.
This chat is Jonathan's talent agent. We got his back. I'm for him. Yep. I actually go ahead.
Everyone gets royalties for sure. Sign up.
Let's push this. Jonathan. Let's push this for Jonathan to be the next Aquaman, or like be his recruit or something, or his disciple.
Yeah, his stunt double even.
Oh, I think he's bigger than Jason Momoa though. So
he looks at it.
Oh, he's big. He's a big boy. So Marianne, okay, this is one thing that she did say about her strategy, is that she's going to always agree with other people's plans. That's good. That is very smart, because you never really want to be the person pushing plans, especially in this new climate, because you don't know whether or not people are going to have better relationships with other people. So until you really know your place in a tribe, it's definitely better to listen than to push agendas in the beginning. So I was happy that she was taking that approach and just kind of gaining information and listening and agreeing. So that was good on
Smart.
you, Marianne. We see Jonathan and Mike having a heart to heart, and Mike is so like, he sees himself in Jonathan and like being these alpha males that are really strong that people just think that they're blockheads. And I like this moment. Did you?
I did too. Yeah. And I rarely like moments like this because it's usually like dripping in egocentric toxic masculinity, and it was a really nice moment between the two of them, and I'm sure it bonds. I'm sure that's the start of a great bond between the two of them.
Definitely started a great bond. Right after, we see Hai wanting to keep Jonathan, as you had mentioned before, because he wants Jonathan as a shield. And we do end up learning like Jonathan is really good at providing, catching these fish. And it's kind of like, if we know his weak spot is a puzzle, let's keep this guy feeding us at least until he fails later down the road with a challenge. But I would be
100%.
keeping him in for a while.
1,000%.
I don't need him
God,
gone right
no.
now.
Nope.
We got like 10 days before he needs to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe
Actually,
like 8 days. 8 days.
At least. Final 6.
At least.
Final
The
7.
8 challenge was the Joss and Derek challenge with an 8 hanging. Oh yeah. Like it's kind of like a pole wrestling. They got bloody on that one. Oh, you haven't seen it. You don't know it. I think it was Total Madness.
No.
Season 35.
Ooh.
People are calling Tori a villain. Do I agree? Do we agree? I don't think Tori's a villain because she doesn't even realize how she comes across to people. So I feel like villains are a little bit more intentional and are doing things a little bit more sneakily or like with purpose. Like maybe villain for how she put Roxroy on the island. That's kind of villainous, but she doesn't have any power.
It's also, sometimes people are considered villains that are disliked by the audience. And I don't necessarily think of Tori as a fan favorite, but a villain, I don't know. Like, if they want to give Tori a villain to the villain tribe for Heroes versus Villains season 2, sure, I get it. But we also don't know how her story ends. So
she could become the underdog.
There's a lot of game left still to play. So we shall see.
Are Jonathan and Lindsay in a showmance? Were they canoodling? Hangout room?
I don't know. I didn't see them canoodling, but I definitely think I think they have each other's backs the most from the original tribe, for sure.
You don't think Jonathan and Omar have each other's backs more?
I think they're close, but I think he has more of a connection with Lindsay, personally.
Interesting. I agree, Teresa. Jonathan does seem like a really nice guy, and with like the conversation he was having with Mike, like you see that he is a nice guy that has just learned to be really strong. We heard in his package a couple weeks ago that his father got him to do push-ups and stuff like that from when he was like 3 years old. So his identity is a little bit through his muscles and his bigness, but like his heart is still I think a good guy. So agreed.
Yeah,
he's a nice
I think
guy.
he's a good guy. Yeah.
Celeste says they need to take Jonathan out somewhere between 8 and 6 people. Exactly. Anything after that is risky because if he gets to 4, he would probably win fire. Yes, agreed. So that's 8 to 10 days still left on the island.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I don't think fire is a guarantee for anyone. Let's not forget that Heather almost won fire last season. She was literally this close to winning fire. So I won't rule anybody out with fire. We don't know people's fire skills.
What did you think of Hai's Tinder story? Have you ever been on Tinder, or have you always been in a relationship while Tinder has been a thing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've never been on Tinder. But I don't know if it was actually Tinder. Like, let's be real here.
What do you think it was, Jojo?
Like, he mentioned a blurry photo. Like, I think there was no face.
Probably a dick pic.
No, like, it's totally Grindr, right?
Grindr, but like a dick pic on Grindr, no? Yeah. Or can you not show a dick pic?
You can't show them in your like I don't think you can show them like in your profile photos. But I haven't even had Grindr in how long, so you're asking the wrong person. But in messages, you can send like pictures, or you could send pictures. So I'd assume it would be that. But definitely, it was Grindr. Yeah, kinda. Like he's gonna swipe for a blurry photo. No, he's not. He's
I
gonna.
was thinking
Yeah, he's
that
gonna
though. I was
tap
like,
for like a. Oh, they're this far away from me. I will. Yes, hello. You're this far away. Let's chat. What's up? So
I mean,
definitely.
I was definitely thought it was hilarious. So that he adds that it was a blurry photo. I'm like, this is incriminating. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing's wrong with it. Do what you got to
No, of
do.
course, of
But
course.
like, the fact that he was like, I was like, nobody on Tinder swipes for a blurry photo. Blurry
No.
photos with no bio.
Catfish. No bio, especially. Is that even allowed on Tinder? Can you have no bio on Tinder?
It could be like you could have like one word or something like that. I don't think you can have no bio.
Yeah.
There's maybe a little like you have like a word or something, but
Hi met his boyfriend on Grindr, and that's okay. That's all right.
but this did actually really impress Romeo by High's openness with his sexuality. And so they ended up having a little bit of a heart to heart. We're assuming that this is where the beginning episode title comes from. So you can't hide on Survivor. And so this case, Romeo can't hide his true self on Survivor because people in his family or whatnot are going to learn a little bit more about who he truly is. And he's not out with everybody in his family. So what did you think of this conversation between these two men?
I really love seeing like two queer men that didn't start off on the same tribe. We have a lot of queer folks make merge, which is beautiful. Nice to see. But we always have that like episode of Drag Race where people's parents don't realize that they're drag queens and gay, and that to me is a little bit more shocking than someone that's like a 3-time Emmy winner, pageant fashionista. Like, I don't know who Romeo is fooling in his, not that he's obviously trying to fool someone in his family, but like some families just aren't open with talking about sexuality in general. So maybe he feels uncomfortable with maybe his grandparents knowing, or his cousins, or aunt and uncle, what have you. I don't know. It's you're going on Survivor. People are going to learn about you, and I thought Romeo has been themselves this entire time. So it was a little surprising for me to hear like, oh, like High's living his total truth and I'm not. You still
I
are,
think
in my
it's
opinion.
being
He was.
open about like meeting his partner
Yeah.
and talking about that aspect of it. Like people can maybe make assumptions if they choose to about Romeo, but he's never like blatantly said like, hey, this is what I like, this is what I like to do. So I think it's just
Yeah.
being candid about who he is, is what he's referring to. But I think he's been himself. I just think he hasn't just been open and just been like,
Right.
this is who I am, this is what I like, and this is how I met my boyfriend. Like he hasn't been that candid, but
Yeah.
I think he's still been himself too. The next scene, though, I thought was a good scene. So, Romeo and Omar are on the beach and they're just talking. And doesn't like Chanel, obviously. And he's like, yeah. And like, when then she lost her vote. And Omar's like, oh, she lost her vote. And like, that's when he realizes that he doesn't have a vote. And I love that realization that like she risked her vote and lost her vote because obviously he knows that he risked his vote. I thought it was a really good moment.
Yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity for Chanel to try and build some trust with the new ally, going to Omar immediately. I am so sorry. This is what went down. I messed up. Please forgive me. You're not going to have a vote. I will vote on your behalf. Let's choose a target together. I'm here for you. Please forgive me. Even if he doesn't forgive you, go to him with the information instead of keeping mum about it. Yeah, way too early in the game to be making such bold decisions with other folks when it's a well-known thing with 3 other people that are mad at you that's playing the game.
So the hangar room says the deep talks between the cast is what I love, authentic, not Jeff produced. Exactly.
100%.
That is exactly what I love about these shows is when they're organic and natural and you're learning about people and you're connecting with them. It's not like they're queued up and being like, so how do you feel right now? And it's like, tell me more. Like, it's just I love that too. Agreed. 100%.
Yes.
So we see Mark and Omar having a little bit of a heart-to-heart as well. Omar tells Mike that he is still a virgin, and like Mike is, oh, okay, you're still a virgin.
Cool.
Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I thought it was funny. Poor Omar though. He's just like 6 years though. So I'm assuming that he's still with his girlfriend, fiance.
Yeah, 6 years.
Are they get married already? What's the deal?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I feel like if you're especially the reason why they're waiting, like just hop on it, make it happen. After 6 years, my lord.
My lord.
Ooh.
Marianne and Lydia have a conversation. They talk about being the youngins with the grandma names, with the old grandma names. I chuckled at that because
love it.
Marianne and Lydia, definitely
Marianne
the
and Lydia.
youngest with the old grandma names, which I thought was
This
cute.
is also the farthest a Mary something has gone in Survivor history. Marys are notoriously taken out very early to the point where it's like the first tribal they go to, they usually leave, which is really funny because what was her name this season? Mariah, spelled Marya. Out early. So Marys don't usually do well on Survivor, and Marianne's kind of kicking butt. So see how she does.
Might break the curse.
Yeah.
So Hai and Jonathan are chatting. They're talking about like, I like you. Lindsay, I love Omar. They're kind of going back and forth with the people that they love. Hai's like, I have Lydia. Jonathan's, I love Mike. Like, they're all just talking about all the people that they love. Hai says he feels really good with Drea. So they shake on it basically that they're going to be working together, which I'm like, yes, that's an unlikely duo. At some point in the episode, Hai is like, he feels as though, Jonathan's going to be a shield and for him. And I'm like, and that he's like going to be, if Jonathan's gone, like Hai will step it up to be kind of like someone that shield. Is exactly, but he's like, Hai would be like a competitor, like he could be a comp beast. And so he definitely wants Jonathan there. So I'm like, yes, keep Jonathan in the game. Love that. So Lydia was wearing a buff, and like, I think she came up to Mike, and Mike said a funny here. He's like, are you buff shaming me? I thought that was funny.
I didn't catch that.
I think it was Mike, but like, just because she was just wearing her purple buff, and she's like, are you buff shaming me?
That's adorable.
So Hai decides to start gathering numbers. He's like, I need to start putting this into play. Like, I need to have like a large group of people. I'm like, I love that he's already thinking. Doesn't seem like everybody else is. I'm like, Hai, get in there and make that large alliance. This is the only time I like large alliances in Survivor. I don't like them on Big Brother. I like them in Survivor in a certain extent.
Yeah, I like them to last a week or two.
Yeah, like, I'm going to last 2 weeks, and then people realize what's going on, and then the people on the outside like figure their way in, and then break it up, and it becomes a little bit more of a fight. But I'm okay with Hai strategizing optimally. Oof. So we see Hai, Lydia, and Drea on the beach. So they're talking about who they have, and so they have those numbers. They want to bring in Lindsay and Omar, as well as Lydia and Mike. And so I was like, I loved all the people here, and it could be because I like the whole cast for the most part. And then Chanel was going to be going to go out next, and so they want Chanel to potentially be the first person that they vote off, or Tori, because they think that Tori is going to screw them over whenever they have the chance, and Marianne was going to be the person that was going to be next from the Taku tribe. So that seems the people that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I love the fact that Jonathan brought up the fact that like he just said Marianne's name to make it look like the four of them are not as solid. And I think that was a hint, like, I don't think those four will go against each other. I don't think, who knows if they will, but I don't see them targeting one another for a little bit at least.
Yes, I thought it was really, really great because I mean, I wouldn't have wanted Marianne to go because of that, but I like the fact that he was thinking in a way to like just take away a bit of that. We're all four strong, like everybody has like somebody in there for that they're not really working with. So it was good. So then Chanel walks up and then everybody leaves. What? That was just the worst. The worst, the worst, the worst. And Glenda is agreeing with you, Jojo. Glenda says that Chanel should have told Omar immediately. That makes her look untrustworthy. And now that her old tribe mates are telling everyone that she isn't, makes it believable. Absolutely. She needed to nip that in the bud. First off, Chanel is not playing how I expected from preseason interviews. What do we think? I agree. Like, she is a what's she, a headhunter or something, or like a something where she's dealing with like high profile CEOs and stuff like that. I would think that she would be a little bit more stealth in her
I think she
gameplay.
I think she tried to be stealth, and I think since that tribal council, her game's kind of blown up a little bit, and she's not having the best luck stitching it back together.
I hope you're talking about Jojo and not me.
Sorry.
Jojo's really East Coast.
Yeah,
I hope it's not me, because I actually work on saying sorry. And I work on saying process instead of process. Yes.
Process.
So hopefully it's not me.
Sorry.
I agree. She's making too many bad decisions. I expected more from her. Absolutely. I expected a lot more from Chanel. She was my number one draft pick on another draft that I'm doing. So Chanel,
she was
shape up.
My number one. Ooh.
And then Chanel goes and quizzes Lydia, who was kind of in that group chat. And Lydia did a good job, in my opinion, of being like, oh, no. Like, oh, we're just talking about like what potentially Roxroy's, advantage is going to be. And like, I thought she played it off pretty well. Even though Chanel didn't seem sold, I did think that Lydia did a pretty good job of lying.
There was worse when it was just Drea, Jonathan, Hai, and who was the fourth? There was four of them standing there. It was Lydia, but they were just like silent, like, yeah. Oh, you want to? Yeah, we're gonna go fishing. Yeah, okay, bye. And then everyone goes off in different directions, and Chanel's just like, camera pan to her face. Like, it felt like an episode of The Office.
Oh, I'm from the US, and I say process instead of process. Interesting. Where is your family from? Are they from like a British colony? Because like British colonies will definitely say process. Produce. I love large alliances in Survivor because they usually never last long. Exactly. It's a beautiful tease. Exactly. Yeah. Agreed. What was I saying here? Okay, so Chanel is worried, and she should be. So at least she's got a read there. Drea tells the group, though, that she has an extra vote. So that was good for her to not tell everything that she has, but like lets them in on a little bit of information. And I believe Omar was there. So Omar was really excited about this because Omar does let that group know that he doesn't have a vote. And so he also is sharing some information, and she was right there, like willing to protect him. And so I thought that was a good moment. And that was between Jonathan, Hai, Drea, and Omar. And so they did kind of decide it's going to be either Chanel or Tori. And then right after that, so that's the four people, Chanel walks up, and I'm like, I wrote down capital letters, awkward.
So awkward. Bad. Have the four of them never lied in their lives? Like, it was painful. I mean,
figure out a way to lie better.
Yeah. Like, hey, bring it up. Like, hey, Chanel, what are you thinking for the vote? Like, you're safe. What do you think? Like, who do you think we should be taking out? Start talking some sort of strategy. I don't know, just to take the heat off the other four. Like,
please.
Bad.
So bad. I mean, Hai should at least bring her in or something like that, So then Jeff shows up to Exile. He was impressed that he built a shelter, as was I. And so we get to kind of understand what Roxroy gets to do, because Roxroy did find the hourglass on the beach. He brings it back to his little camp. And so he learns he gets to go back in time, reversing the outcome of the challenge. And so Roxroy is contemplating this, which we know that he's not really. So he would be helping Drea and Romeo, who were on the losing tribe, which are the people that he's working with, or he would be helping Tori. So it was a no-brainer with how this all shook out that he would be doing something. But Jeff prefaces says, are you going to either do nothing or change history?
Oh, like, he's gonna do nothing.
Well, yeah, I'm going to do nothing. Like, come on, Jeff. You know that if you're going to phrase it that way, he's definitely going to do something. He's going to change the future or change history.
You think?
So we do see the next morning or at another point that Rocksroy is like deciding actually with the mallet, and he's like, you know, you lost fair and square, but then he's like, but the Tory factor.
Yeah, everyone deserves a second chance. Boom. I mean, to be fair, we did learn from some of Erica's exit interviews that they told her, like, don't smash it until the morning. Like, she was ready. She was like, oh, Jeff was there. She was literally about to smash. They're like, no, wait, don't smash it yet. Give it some time. We'll film you tomorrow. Think of what you want to say. So I'm thinking he obviously got the same memo, and it just came out less authentic than what Erica had to say.
So we had the immunity challenge, and like similarly to when what's her name, when Erica came back, they come right back to the challenge and to share the news. I was hoping that it would be the same challenge that they did. I kind of wanted to see them have to do the same thing. Just I know that it was a less of like a sting because of the fact that they got a little bit more information. They knew that it was going to be a game-changing thing, and they chose to take that risk. So that definitely is going to make people feel less salty about the fact that they were duped in a sense, or they didn't really win. But I did want to just see more so how it was going to play out, having similar challenges as well.
Yeah, I love the challenge that they ended up doing this episode. I always think it's a really fun, exciting one, but that leg one was really cool, and I would have liked to see it again. But also, like, got to keep it fresh. Maybe they're saving that for something else.
But it's not fresh though. The challenge that they're doing is a challenge that they do almost every season. So this particular challenge is like the immunity block challenge, where they're going to be walking back. They're putting their blocks on a wobbly table, and they have a rope to keep it level, and so they have to spell immunity from bottom to top. And so we see that in every season. Even over in Australia, they do it, I think, every season. And so do the feet one.
Yeah, I want the feet one.
I mean, unless they wanted a certain outcome.
Yeah, or unless they were saving the feet one for something else. I hope they are.
For everybody to play?
Yeah, that'd be more exciting.
Maybe it's for everybody to play.
String.
What was it going to say? Oh, so the one thing though that Jess mentioned, and you like obviously were annoyed by this, is the fact that the person who goes out this evening is not going to make jury. Why does it have to be that way?
Hate it. Don't think that's right. Everyone's meeting. Everyone's on the same beach. It's not.
If there's a final three, there can be it can be an even number of votes, right? Oh no, if there's a final three, it'll be odd. How many people are out? This is 12? We're at 12, right? So final three would be 9.
4,
so
4,
why?
4. Yeah, 4, 4, 4.
So if it's 12, one goes out, it's 11. It's 3, that's 8. But if it ends up being 4 and 4, we'll say,
the third
person is still the vote. So I mean, I just don't see why they.
That's more exciting TV. Like, I would love to see a 4-4 again. Whatever season that was when Wendell won. I didn't love that outcome because
38.
She deserved a vote or two, in my opinion. But would have liked to see that for her. But, you know, it's really exciting to see a third place person have to cast a deciding vote. I also love when it's unanimous. Both of the other finalists receive second place prize.
Oh, good. Thank you for clarifying that, because I was questioning whether that would have been the case.
Yes.
So that's good to know that they both receive second place prizes.
They both get second place prizes, which normally people that are bitter juries are like, good, like they didn't get a single vote. It's like, but little do you know, they're actually getting more prize money. They're still considered second. They're still considered runner up together equally. They both have second place instead of second, third.
Nice. That's awesome then.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome. So obviously Rocksroy did this, you know, he was going to change the results of the challenge, and Tori's pissed publicly. What the heck?
Just because, I mean, I don't think Tori can keep anything to themselves. So Not surprised at all that they started airing their own thoughts and dirty laundry, but Tori, like, you're on Survivor. This has been your dream to play this game, and you're just not, it's not clicking properly for Tori, in my opinion. It's really frustrating. So,
but what wasn't frustrating is that Tori was able to pull out the win in this immunity challenge. There was a little bit of suspense at one point, but I knew that she was going to win because I said before, we haven't seen that scene where she's reading a clue of some sort. Yeah. So I'm waiting to see that scene. If she goes out before we see that scene, then we can say that, like, oh, I was waiting for no reason. But I knew that she was going to do well. I wasn't scared of her really going home. I wanted her to stay in this game because I never really like when, it's a group consensus.
Everyone gets their own way.
Easy like that. And like, so I love when the target like pulls out the win, regardless of how I feel about them. And so Tori does that. She wins, and I don't know if you noticed this, but after, when they're all like kind of congratulating everybody, Roxroy says like, I love you, Tori.
Oh, like, really? I think she says something to him about, I love you. Now I love you. Like, now that I won immunity, I can love you and your decision.
Oh, so maybe, I was reading the closed captions and I thought it was him to her, but you think it was her to him?
Her to him. She was like, now that I'm immune, I don't care what you did.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back and check on that. I'm not sure. So back at camp, this is when Jonathan and Roxroy go spearfishing, and Romeo is starting to, he's getting power hungry. Poor guy. He wants the power. He's not necessarily wanting Jonathan in the game. He talks to Tori about this, and he thinks that Jonathan's too strong, and he doesn't like the bros club that's happening with all the bros being so into like Jonathan and how strong he is. And I think that he maybe shouldn't go for this yet. I don't know. What do you think about Romeo deciding that Jonathan should be the person that he takes out?
Only because Romeo is immune for this vote. I think you can try and push like your agenda a little bit. And looking at the other players that Jonathan was up against, the majority of them were women.
Wait, he's safe, right?
Mm-hmm. And a gay man. So maybe a part of it for Romeo was, I want to stick with the ladies. I would love to stick with my queer folks. Let's aim for Jonathan. He's a big target, and that would be a huge mark off the resume for Final 3. I decided I want to take Jonathan
even that early?
That early? Sure. I mean, he's on a shield for him. He's on a shield for, like, Romeo's not, sorry, Jonathan, excuse me. Jonathan is not a shield for Romeo. He's a shield for other players. So trying to, split the votes a little bit and get the majority secretly on Jonathan, very nice. Who's going to miss him?
I'm just thinking, though, that he doesn't have as enough control, and his position in the game is not that great to get rid of Jonathan right away, who is an obvious target that they can get out at any time. They can make an argument to get Jonathan out at any time. I think maybe somebody that actually is a threat to his game, because Jonathan's not going to get to the end. I think that there's pretty little to no chance that he's going to get to the end and win this season. I think he could get far because people would want to keep him around, but I don't think that he is going to be someone that's going to win. So if I were Romeo, I would maybe look for somebody else that is more similar to him that would take his position. Like, you know what I mean? That go for like a high, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of the same. I mean, not necessarily going for the other queer person, but like that's kind of where my head would be going at. It's like maybe somebody that either work with the person
playing like
you. Exactly. So Chanel, Lydia, and Lindsay talk, and they actually want to keep Jonathan. And Lindsay's like, he's really good at food, but he's terrible at puzzles. And we're learning this now. It's like his kryptonite is puzzles. So keep him around. There's always going to be a puzzle on Survivor. That means we're always going to have a chance to get him out. So
100%.
Keep him. So Omar is safe, but has no vote. Jonathan talks to him and he's like, we have to push Marianne. Like, Omar, can you help me do something here? And I was like, oh my God, is Omar going to help him stay in this game? Like, he doesn't need to do this at all. He's pretty insulated. He could just let the vote go to Jonathan or let the vote go to Lydia or Marianne. Like, he doesn't need to have control of this vote at all. But the fact that he really wants to keep his tribe together, which is like, I loved it. I was so happy that Omar decides to help Jonathan. He's like, I need your help. Omar, I need your help. And
I
so
love it.
Omar goes to work.
I love that they're sticking together because I truly think they will stick together for a little bit. And I think that's really nice to see.
Oh, yes. Like Jonathan, though, like just the fact that like he felt he was able to say to Omar, I need your help. Yeah. Which I think is like a person that his stature isn't usually a person that I would expect to ask that of anyone. And so I really liked that he put his game into Omar's hands, and Omar wasn't like, oh, screw him, I don't care. No, Omar went to work. He decides to start pushing Lydia, saying that Lydia is already going against the 8 because he wants to come for Jonathan. Because Jonathan was kind of the name, which was an easy name that was being pushed now by Romeo. And so then Lydia was like agreeing with this because like obviously like Jonathan, that archetype is the merge boot person. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that Omar is like telling this to Hai, and I was like, oh my God, it's so dangerous to tell this to Hai because Hai and Lydia are so close. I'm like, oh my goodness. Also, Marianne and Jonathan, or Marianne or John, Hai wants Marianne or Jonathan to be the one goes, and this is not good for Omar, but he still is going to push Lydia. And I was like, ballsy, yes.
Yes.
So we get to tribal. Jonathan says, we love you, Mr. Jeff. What's this Mr. Jeff stuff?
I don't know. I think he's trying to push a little bit of a cute little relationship. Yeah, so beautiful. Loved watching Omar control this tribal. It was impressive.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Teresa hates that Tori won immunity. You wanted Tori gone? Like, what's... Like, you wouldn't have gotten this epic episode if Tori was still in the game. It would just been all votes on Tori.
Yeah. Bye.
Like these people emerging as these huge game players. Like the battle, it seems like it's gonna be a battle. Hai versus Omar might be going on behind the scenes, like trying to go for power, with Romeo also trying to get in there to get some power and get his agenda across. Like none of that would have happened if Tori was the one that went home. So they had to have another plan.
Yes.
And so I mean, I love that they had to scramble. So that was definitely one of the benefits of Tori winning that head of household. That immunity.
Head of household. Same thing. Whatever.
So Hai's talking about everything in the game is fluid, which it really is at this point. There hasn't been any defined sides. We know that there's that group of 7 now. But like for the most part, it's pretty fluid still. We'll see what happens next episode to see like if people Tori's not going to want to be on the outs. Chanel's not going to want to be on the outs. So are they going to get together, find an immunity necklace or something?
Find Marianne and work some magic. Who knows? She has an extra vote. She's got immunity to throw around. That's 3 votes on someone. Could be.
Omar was funny at this tribal as well. He's like, let's go get firewood, but the firewood is empty. And I was like, hilarious. So like everyone's was chatting, scrambling,
running, chaos. I love this episode. Now that I think about it, I can't wait to watch it again. I will watch this episode again. Yeah.
Definitely good. So what am I writing here? What parts are you going to put out there? You'll feel better being fully authentic self. Lydia. So Lydia's just talking about like being fully authentic, and that's been kind of her storyline. And I guess we got this from her because it's kind of like her parting words, we'll say. But she did have, a shift of some growth when she went on the summit, and she talks about body image and whatnot. And so I do like that she feels as though she can be fully authentic. And it's partially through this experience of Survivor. So I like that. So Marianne and Dre are on the same page. Oh my God, what happened there? What a weird moment. So Marianne and Dre were talking about like being on the same page, but Dre was like, no, we're not on the same page. And then Marianne's like, but yes, we're on the same page. Do you remember what happened there?
Yeah, it was confusing because I think Marianne was trying to like she was saying we'll agree. No, Drea was saying we'll agree to disagree, and Marianne was saying no, we're not disagreeing because what you're saying and what I'm saying is the same thing, but Drea, I don't remember what they were saying to make it the same thing. It was very
Right.
complicated. Yeah,
It was very complicated, and Drea was just not budging. It's like, who cares? Just budge. Just be like, okay, sure, we agree to disagree, or like,
sure.
whatever. Just like you don't need to like stick your
But
heels in here. Like it's
they did.
pretty.
They both did vote the same way, so maybe that is what Marianne was saying. Like, well, we do agree on this. Like, we're agreeing on the
Mm,
votes. Like, surprise,
potentially.
surprise. Yeah,
And then obviously Marianne does the whole like, what was the question?
yeah.
Like
I think
you do
she's
talk a lot, Marianne.
she's so charming, though. I'm not annoyed by her whatsoever. Maybe if I was living with her on an
If I was
island,
living with her, it would be a bit
a
of a
different
problem.
story. But watching her on the
Yeah.
show, I'm like, give it to me. Yes, make this a Marianne show. I don't care. I love it.
I'd just be like, can we just take it down a few notches? Can we I know actually I'd probably teach her how I would want to interact with her. So I'd probably just be like, first thing in the morning, I probably would like a little bit of chill time. Is that okay? And then we can like go and we can talk for like hours
Yeah,
after that. But like I just need a
100%.
couple moments to myself.
Yeah, let
And
me have
I'm
my
sure she'd
coffee.
be okay with that. Exactly. Give me my
Yeah,
my salt water.
my
Let me gargle. So
my.
Teresa is agreeing with us at this point, but she doesn't like the way that Tori plays her game. So I mean, I don't necessarily like Tori as a game player. I don't think that Tori's going to win the game. I don't want Tori to win the game,
Yeah,
but I love it when the perceived target they don't get their way, and she was the person that would have gone out easily. Everybody could agree on that vote, but now they had to all agree on another vote, and that's fun.
uh-huh.
Always fun. A beetle lands on Roxroy, which I should have looked up the meaning of beetles in dreams because sometimes they're,
Ooh,
they it tells
I love
something.
that.
So I'm gonna look it up next time. Remind me if I
That's
don't
cool.
remember.
I will. I'm gonna write that down.
So we get to the vote. Everybody goes up and votes, and Omar really wanted Marianne to play her idol. But he was also saying that he wanted to have control of the idol. So I was confused, but like he wanted to have as many tools as he could in his arsenal. So the fact that he was pushing her to play it, I was surprised by. But she has nerves of steel, this girl. She knew her name was on the docket a little
Yes.
bit. And
I was
she
very impressed that she didn't play her idol and not an extra vote. I was very impressed that she was intuitive enough to know not to do that.
I mean, there must have been more conversations that were
Yeah,
had that we didn't see, but
of course.
like I would have played the idol personally. I mean, I think I'll always misplay an idol because I wouldn't be able to sit on it for that long. I just be like, I could not go out with an idol in my pocket. I'm gonna have to play this here.
Yeah, I think I would probably ruin it by playing it on someone else to try and make a move and then go out the following week when I should have used the idol then to save myself. So putting a target on your back while using the idol to make a big move.
Right, right.
Yes.
So the votes were 2 votes, Jonathan, 1
Yes.
vote, Lindsay,
Ooh.
2 votes, Marianne. So like I was like, oh my god, is Marianne going to go home before merge with before jury with an idol in her pocket? I'm like, and an extra vote. I'm like, no, they couldn't do that. And then it was Lydia. There was 5 in a row, and that's enough. Lydia was done with Survivor. I
Yeah.
was shocked. Not shocked. I was shocked that it went through. I was shocked that Omar got his way. And impressed, thoroughly impressed,
Oh
because there
yeah.
seemed to be some pushback. Hi, Jelly Donut.
Really?
Yes, rest in peace,
Oh,
Queen Lydia.
Lydia
Gone for the
chlamydia. Oh,
game. Oh, torch snuffed. I said, whoa, impressive, Omar. Like,
yeah.
good job. Wow. And so they're officially merged. He throws the buffs to the other people that didn't receive their purple buff yet. And
I hated this
lastly,
moment. I
why?
hated it because they're all celebrating and Lydia's literally like how far away from them?
Walking? Maybe she can't hear them at that point. Like, could have been a cut.
I'm dying to know if she could hear them.
Like, hey, yay!
Yeah,
And she's like,
yay! Celebration. She's like, oh, okay.
guess I'll go to
Off I go.
Ponderosa.
Yeah, it doesn't even get to go to Ponderosa. Just go to pre-jury trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't Ponderosa happen all the time, but like they just don't stay? Like they have to leave? Oh, I don't know either.
I have no idea. Sisson.
So the last thing I just want to talk about is, so the people that voted for Lydia was High,
Mike.
yeah, Jonathan,
Both of them.
Lydia, Drea, and Marianne.
Yep.
The people that voted for Marianne were Romeo and Lydia, which I thought was very interesting.
Me too.
And then Roxroy voted for Lindsay, spelling it Linz. That's very Canadian of me.
Yeah.
Zey.
Yeah. I think it was ZIE even.
Oh, Zie. Yeah, it was like Lindsay. It was just such a weird way to spell it. Linz. I think it's IE. I think you're right.
And I was wondering, like, did he mean to do Lydia and just like didn't know how to spell anyone's name?
How can
a
you
Z instead of a D,
like Lindsay, and not have an idea of how to spell some names?
Who knows? I'd just be a jerk, and like anyone I didn't like, I'd be like, I'm gonna spell your name awful. Like, like I know you're you're a Lauren, Lauren, but I would spell it like Law, like LAWYRNNE. Like that's Lauren. Let Jeff get mad at that.
Wait, was it in a season, or am I making this up? Where somebody asked, who? Tell me.
Yeah, he was like, who is this for? Who's this? It was during season 5 Thailand, and he got mad at Clay for voting for someone because he couldn't understand who he was voting for, and he was like, "Who cast this vote? Tell me the name." And Clay was like, "Oh, I guess it was this person." And he's like, "Okay, cool, you're voted out. There you go."
So Danielle says in her exit view on Robin's podcast, she said she could hear her. Oh no, I haven't watched that yet. I'm gonna watch that tonight. And lastly, the two people that voted for Jonathan were Tori and Chanel. So very interesting. So the people that on the outs though should maybe get together. So Romeo, Lydia, Roxroy, Tori, and Chanel seemingly weren't. They didn't stick to the plan. They weren't informed of the plan. And so that's a problem. That's a problem that they didn't all vote out Lydia. So I'm interested to see how this goes down, what the fallout is for the people that didn't vote correctly, if they're going to figure out how to get in with this group, because that would be really easy for people to be next out.
Yeah.
The 4 people that did not vote with the 7. So
yeah,
we will see what happens. So anything else with this episode that you want to talk about before we say goodnight?
No, I just love the episode. I can't wait to watch it again. Can't wait.
Loved it. Loved all you guys in the chat. You guys were awesome and fun. Thanks for all the tea and information here. If you are watching this later, make sure you like this video and leave a comment. What should the comment be about? What question?
Ooh, do you want
to win this season?
Love it.
Be easy. It'd be easy this week. And like now that we are at Merge, who do you think is in the best position to win the game? And then who do you want to see win the game? So it could be 2 different people. It could be the same person. Love to know your thoughts there. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to go live in like 2 hours or so, or an hour and a half. After Big Brother Canada, Jojo, myself, and Jonathan will be talking about yesterday's veto episode and tonight's eviction episode. So join us at 9:15 Eastern, where we will talk about that. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jojo.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.